So it's Xilla. How do you spell Xilla?
I spell it with an X. X-I-L-L-A.
I'm so happy you asked.
Yes, because
Xilla, you want to slate that?
no, I often do
might
that.
have to write a thing
Xilla
down.
Valentine, Global Grind.
My brain takes in words differently than I hear. I mean, if I see it and can spell it, I can then remember it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Xilla.
Xilla.
Speaking of words, since you brought it up, you have a very specific way of talking. They call it the Oprah voice. You said it like, Chicago Live!
Yeah.
How do you know which word to emphasize when you do it?
I really don't. That all started once when I don't. It just comes
question.
out.
Yeah.
It just comes out. That's a really good question. But you know where it came from? John Travolta was on my show years ago, and I just said, meet John Travolta! And that's how it started. It started with John Travolta! And you absolutely know that it's Travolta. It's not Travolta. It's Travolta. You just know.
I wouldn't know that.
You just know.
I'd say the wrong
And
thing.
so now I find myself doing it all the time. The other day I was saying it to the dogs. Luke, come here.
So crazy.
It's crazy.
One of the parts of this film that I loved is when Calvin kept saying, I love your hair. I love your hair.
Yeah.
Me too.
That was so beautiful. And every woman and even I have my own personal hair journey. That's why I have a hat on. Can you talk about the acceptance of accepting yourself through your hair?
What a great moment you pointed out, because it was so romantic. Because the only thing you want to hear, at least I can speak only for myself, is that someone likes you for the way that you are. You know, and I think that is such a subtle and powerful message. And the way he's looking at her, I mean, I was sitting next to you when we saw it, and it was like, it's just sparkly, and it's such an important message. And it's like one of the central messages of the movie, but it was that little interaction, and then finally at the end when she's able to accept the compliment. You know?
Zilla, you got it going on to get that question. You got it going on. You know why? Because I remember writing one of the major executives at Disney afterwards saying, thank you so much for letting us do a movie where the cutest white kid in the class, the cutest boy in the class, who turns out to be this white boy, Calvin, says to the black girl, after she's dipped her head in the water, and we all know what that means. Yeah, I love your hair. That is such a powerful moment that you picked up on.
Thank you. Another thing is that Meg has her demons, these demons and these dark moments that bring her, and you keep telling her to accept the faults. I wanted to know, in your own personal life, when there was a dark time, what was your hope, as the misses were, to sort of bring you back to the light?
I think, well, that's a beautiful part of what my character, Mrs. Whatsit, says to Meg, is that accept your faults, and your faults can often be your greatest attributes. So I think it is sort of discovering that about yourself. I'd have to think about all the things that I had to overcome, and certainly I think we all have. I mean, that's why we're here.
Well, my biggest fault was not knowing how to say no, or not feeling confident enough for many years that I could say no without being judged for the no. So when I learned to accept that and then decide that I was going to work on it by only doing and saying things that were intentional for myself, I started to change.
I noticed that too, because you're taking the high road on so many different levels, and people say negative things about you. Trump, Monique is in the media right now. Why do you continue to take the high road? Why don't you address it face?
Oh my gosh, because it's impossible. It's a law that if you meet negative with negative, you will just have a combusted negative force and negative energy. You can't meet negative energy where it is. You have to rise above it. You have to transcend it. You have to be the light. And it only takes a little bit of light to banish the darkness. It takes a lot of darkness to overcome the light. But it takes just a little bit of light. And we are warriors of the light. So I would never stoop to try to meet somebody where they are negatively.
Yeah.
Don't care who they are.
Awesome. Thank you very much for taking the
I
time
like
to chat with me.
Xilla, you brought it. You brought it.
Godzilla!
Yeah.
Zilla bitch.